The stewardess became a national sex symbol. She was not allowed to marry. She was subjected to periodic underwear checks.
Hey guys, I am going to jump into a really strange rabbit hole and you're coming with me. Let's just get to it. Alright guys, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you may be aware that periodically I put out these vintage aviation ads where I kind of poke fun of quirks of different airplanes. So I was doing some research online looking for vintage aviation styling to copy for an ad, and I stumbled across these advertisements which had my jaw on the floor. I'm in my mid-40s. I remember a time when aviation was a little different. I remember planes full of smoke, everybody's smoking. People who have 20 years on me may remember this, and I want to know in the comments if this was like just how the world was, because this predates me. Young people, you're probably not even gonna, I don't even really believe that this was real, and I was reading it, I was like, oh my gosh, the world is such a different place. Advertising for aviation in, I don't know if this was the 50s or 60s, was really about one thing. This was a typical airline ad in a magazine. I'm just going to say back then, I don't know what date. I've taken the liberty of removing the names of the airlines for ones that are still around, because I don't want people like, this stuff is really old. I don't want someone emailing an airline and going, you guys are sexist or whatever. This is Lorraine. She's 21. She's got an IQ of 120. I don't know what a flight routine is, but she got a 97. That's an ad in a magazine for an airplane. So what was important in aviation at the time? As far as I can tell, it wasn't safety or convenience. It certainly wasn't Wi-Fi. It was the stewardesses. So this one, you got to be between 21 and 27. You can't be married. You have to have 20/30 vision or better. So the qualifications, and height, 5'2" to 5'7". So you had to meet certain physical requirements to be a flight attendant, as we would call them today. When flight attendants first became a thing, they were nurses mostly. They were there to help people were sick or having trouble or whatever it was. And then, of course, in an emergency now, today, that's the primary function. You think they're there to serve you food or coffee or whatever. Like if stuff goes down, watch them step in gear. I've been talking to a lot of people about what their role is as a part of the crew lately. So, not the point. But back in the day, it was a little bit something they focused on. Outfits, physicality, and some were just a little more blatant. I think I know what we're selling here. I've heard the expression. I think this is like pretty blatant, but there's certainly something that they're going for here, and I think it's pretty clear that this is a different time. I'll just let this one speak for itself.
If you had to smile for a living, you'd be more careful about your diet.
That's right, Fred. And that's why we have provided this list of 5 ways to be more attractive. I'm not going to read it all, but you can probably guess it's all about diet and not becoming overweight. Who would ever want to see a fat stewardess? Not me. Not anyone. Also, since this was an ad from before I could vote, the solution to all your problems is just a glass of milk. Resist the urge to be a sheep and follow along when your friends order sweet drinks. Cool it with the drink that turns you on, milk. Brought to you by the Dairy Council of California. For a free brochure titled, A Girl and Her Figure, write to the address below.
Right now my lungs are being damaged by all of these people smoking in this plane.
So obviously really strict appearance-related qualifications, so much that they would go to the extent to run an ad like this where they're calling these women losers. And this was actually a video ad as well.
She's awkward. Not very friendly. But she's too young. Oh, she bites nails. She wears glasses. Honey, no, the other, she's married. Well.
Eastern presents The Losers.
Immature.
19 out of 20 girls we see never get to be an Eastern Airlines stewardess. They're probably good enough to get a job anywhere they want. But at Eastern, we're very choosy about whom we let serve you on a plane. It may make our job a lot harder, but it makes your flying a lot easier. We want everyone to fly.
Oh, the girl with the glasses. Honey, wait, if you...
So I guess my hopes and dreams of ever being a flight or stewardess have just been dashed because I wear glasses. So, and I don't know if I'm quirky, too short, too tall, or whatever. But definitely the advertising was wildly different. I don't think any of this stuff would fly today. Here we go. Does Mohawk Airlines have the best dressed girls in the world? Like, who cares? I just want to know that your airline's safe and we're going to get there on time. This woman is going to change clothes for you 4 times during the flight. And if it's Dallas to Tulsa, don't expect good service. She's just going to be busy doing changes. Naturally, regardless of the conditions of the flight, she's going to start out wearing a reversible cold weather coat and matching gloves and boots. If it's raining, she's going to wear an ingenious plastic helmet. What's an ingenious plastic helmet? I don't know. Once she gets on the plane, she's going to shed her outer garments to greet you in a raspberry suit and color-coordinated shoes. This ensemble is too expensive to risk soiling during dinner, so at the appropriate moment, zip, snap, zip. She's going to change into a lovely serving dress. What's a serving dress? I don't know. After dinner, she's going to change clothes again, putting on the outfit here. How horrible must it have been if this was your job at the time to be like, I've got these 4 outfits I've got to carry around. I've got to change them in between phases of the flight. It's hilarious, it's ridiculous, and it's sad. But it's funny to me that this was an actual thing. This one here did and didn't surprise me. Definitely legs and white people got top billing. The people who don't look like me have been relegated to maintenance outfits. I'm honestly kind of surprised given the time period that it's not just all white people, but I don't know. Kind of weird. You just wouldn't see this these days. Hey ladies, tell me a little bit about your job and what you do here.
Mix business with pleasure. Good times and free drinks on weekday flights, plus lots of tender loving care.
We pamper you and cater to your every need. And when one of us smiles at you, it's because we want to, not because we have to.
That makes a big difference. The difference that comes from flying with someone who loves you.
My doctor prescribed me some calm down pills. I'm not supposed to mix them with alcohol, but I'm just a silly woman who can't follow complicated instructions. Night night.
I love AI so much. It's just awesome. Here's another thing that I found, which I find fascinating. They came up with these things called foreign accent flights. If I understand correctly, they taught the stewardesses, I'm using that word because they did, to speak with different foreign accents. And so you could choose from like a Manhattanite, whatever, an old English that they call a wench, a French girl, and an Italian girl. And so they would dress and put magazines and newspapers from different countries around the airplane, so you would feel like you were, I don't know, what's the point? Were people really going, oh, I'm flying TWA because they've got a winch? That's just wild. Anyway, that's a thing. Foreign accents. As a part of your job, you got to be a certain weight, a certain height. You can't wear glasses. You can't be married. And you got to learn to speak with a French accent. And people are going to call you a wench. So if you're okay with that, have we got the job for you? I think the age thing is hilarious. This one right here, they're referring to this, obviously, she's like 23, 24, and the title is Old Maid.
Old Maid. That's what the other airline stewardesses call her, because she's been flying for almost 3 years now. The average tenure of a stewardess is only 21 months before she gets married. But she's not worried. How many girls do you know who can serve cocktails and dinner for 35 without losing their composure? And who smile the whole time like they mean it? They do. Not too many, right? That's part of the reason why only one of every 30 girls who apply for stewardess school becomes a stewardess. But still, since we invented the stewardess back in 1930, we've trained over 15,000 smiling reasons to fly. Everyone gets warmth, friendliness, and extra care. And someone may get a wife. Speaking of wives, I am already 24 years old and never managed to find a husband. I will die alone.
What is this creepy thing here at the bottom? Billy, I think you're keen too, but you're only 8 years old. All right, so anyway, that was advertising in the 50s, 60s, I guess. I don't know. I was born in the late 70s, so this predates me. And again, I'm even kind of baffled by how much smoking and some other things that were on, going around when I was a kid. But if you were alive during this time, I assume this wasn't just airlines. Like all advertisements were probably this blatant. But really, in 2024, to see people categorized, like not being able to get a job because you wear glasses. Oh, she chews gum or bites her nails or whatever other thing. None of us would have jobs. Nobody would have jobs. So anyway, that was just fascinating to me. I was doing research for the vintage ad and I saw these things. There's a whole lot more. You should Google it. Go Google vintage airline ads or sexist airline ads. There's so many of these things out here, and just in today's day and age, seeing that it's just kind of interesting to see what the world used to be like. So, thought I'd share it with you. Was doing research, came across this, and I was like, people need to see this. Maybe you guys all knew that the world was like this. I didn't. So, in the comments, let me know ballpark age range, and if you remember these type of things. I don't ever recall the world being like this, but that's all I got, y'all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. You guys fly smart, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Hey guys, that's the end of the video. I really appreciate you watching. A big thank you to everyone that watches and likes and shares. Another big thank you to those that have opted to support my Patreon. That does a ton to help support the channel. This AI stuff, as it turns out, is quite expensive. Shout out to Gold Seal. If you want to learn to fly, you can't go wrong with Gold Seal. The first lesson is free. After that, you will be addicted and there is no turning back. Just look at me. One discovery flight, and now I have thrown my whole life away on this aviation addiction. Gold Seal link is in the description. Fly smart, guys. See you in the next one.